The Magoffin Homestead stands as a remarkable piece of El Paso's history, its sturdy walls whispering stories from the past. Built in 1875, the home was a hub of family life and community gatherings, but its purchase by the city in 1976 unearthed more than just historical artifacts. Rumors of ghostly inhabitants quickly began to circulate. Visitors to the homestead often report seeing a ghostly lady in blue gliding through the halls, her presence accompanied by a faint scent of lavender. Legend has it that she was once a member of the Magoffin family, forever tied to the home she loved. Many describe her as serene, but an air of melancholy lingers about her, as if she is eternally waiting for something or someone. Then there's the spectral duo of a woman and a little girl in Victorian garb. They are frequently spotted in the gardens, their laughter echoing through the air, a haunting reminder of the life that once flourished there. Some say the little girl likes to play tricks on unsuspecting visitors, tugging at their sleeves or darting just out of sight, leaving behind an inexplicable sense of joy mixed with unease. Perhaps the most poignant of all the apparitions is that of a man in a rocking chair, his favorite spot, where he was said to have passed away. Visitors have reported finding the chair rocking gently on its own, even in the absence of a breeze. Those who sit in the chair often feel an overwhelming sense of peace, as if they are being watched over by a loving presence. One evening, a small group of local ghost hunters decided to investigate the homestead, armed with cameras and equipment designed to capture paranormal activity. As they entered the dimly lit rooms, the air grew thick with anticipation. The guide shared the stories of the apparitions, recounting encounters with the lady in blue and the ghostly mother and daughter. "Keep your eyes and ears open," he urged. "This place has a way of revealing its secrets when you least expect it." As they wandered through the parlor, one member of the group, a young woman named Sarah, felt an inexplicable pull toward the rocking chair. She stepped closer, the wood creaking beneath her feet. Just as she reached out to touch it, the air turned chilly, and a faint whisper floated through the room. "Stay, just a moment longer." Startled, Sarah turned to her companions, who were equally captivated by the chair's gentle rocking. They gathered around, feeling an unexpected bond forming in the charged atmosphere. The guide encouraged them to ask questions, and as they did, a series of knocks echoed in response, seemingly coming from the chair itself. "Is that you, sir?" one of the ghost hunters ventured. "Can you let us know you're here?" To their astonishment, the chair rocked more vigorously, as if responding to their inquiry. The air shimmered with energy, and a soft warmth enveloped them, filling the room with a sense of calm. Meanwhile, outside in the garden, another member of the group caught a glimpse of the ghostly woman and little girl. Dressed in their Victorian attire, they stood hand in hand, watching with curious expressions. The man quickly summoned the others, but by the time they arrived, the figures had vanished, leaving only the lingering sound of childlike laughter. As the night deepened, they moved from room to room, each one filled with an undeniable presence. The lady in blue appeared in flashes of movement, her form barely visible, yet her energy was palpable. The group found themselves caught between fascination and trepidation, feeling the weight of the stories tied to each apparition. Just as they were preparing to leave, Sarah felt a sudden tug on her sleeve. Turning, she found herself face to face with the little girl. "Will you come play with us?" the child asked, her voice sweet and innocent. Heart racing, Sarah exchanged glances with her friends, unsure how to respond. The group had come seeking evidence of the paranormal, but this felt different, personal, almost intimate. "Of course, we'd love to," Sarah finally replied, her voice steady. "But we can't stay long." The little girl giggled, her spirit radiating pure joy. "Just a little while," she urged, darting back toward the garden. Caught up in the moment, the group followed, stepping outside into the moonlight. The garden glowed softly, illuminated by the ethereal light of the moon, and they could feel the playful energy of the ghosts surrounding them. For the next few minutes, they played hide and seek, the child's laughter ringing through the air, while the mother watched from a distance, her expression filled with love. It was a beautiful moment that transcended time, a reminder of the bonds that exist beyond the physical realm. As the night began to wane, The little girl finally paused, looking up at Sarah with a hint of sadness. "You have to go now," she said, her voice tinged with regret. "But we'll be here always." With a heavy heart, Sarah nodded, understanding the bittersweet nature of their encounter. "We'll remember you," she promised. As they made their way back to the homestead, the energy shifted once more. The rocking chair stood still, yet they felt a sense of gratitude enveloping them, as if the spirits were thanking them for acknowledging their presence. The group left the Magoffin Homestead with hearts full of memories and stories to share an experience that would remain with them long after they returned to the mundane world. They had come seeking ghosts, but they had found so much more. Connections that bridged the gap between past and present, and a reminder that love transcends even the boundaries of life and death. As they drove away, the homestead stood quietly behind them, its secrets now shared with those who dared to listen. And somewhere within its walls, the lady in blue, the mother and daughter, and the man in the rocking chair continued to watch over their beloved home. Their stories intertwined with the living, forever part of the fabric of El Paso's rich history. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you liked this story. As the group drove away from the Magoffin Homestead, laughter and animated conversation filled the car. Each member recounted their experiences, their voices blending together in a tapestry of excitement and awe. Sarah, still feeling the warmth of the little girl's presence, found herself reflecting on the depth of their encounter. But as they ventured further from the homestead, an unexpected heaviness settled in the vehicle. The weight of what they had experienced lingered, a reminder of the fragile connection they had forged with the spirits of the past. "Do you think they'll be okay?" Sarah asked, glancing back toward the dim silhouette of the homestead fading into the distance. "I mean, will the lady in blue and the others find peace?" Her friends exchanged glances, and the guide, who had been quietly contemplating, turned to her. "I believe so. They've shared their stories with us, and in doing so they've found a voice. That's often the first step toward healing." Just then, one of the other ghost hunters, Mark, chimed in. "It's fascinating to think about how these spirits are still tied to the home, still part of its legacy. They want to be remembered, just like we do." His words resonated with the group, igniting a sense of purpose among them. They had stepped into a world of shadows and light, and in doing so, they had become keepers of those stories. As the night wore on, Sarah proposed an idea. "What if we came back? We could document more about the homestead, maybe even hold events that honor those spirits and share their history." The guide nodded enthusiastically. "That's a great idea. We could create a project that invites the community to engage with the history of the homestead and its inhabitants. We can help keep their memories alive." Fueled by this newfound mission, the group began brainstorming ways to incorporate the community into their plans. They envisioned a series of storytelling nights, where locals could share their own ghost stories or connect with the history of El Paso. They wanted to create a space where people could come together, learn, and celebrate the past. As they discussed their plans, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they had been entrusted with something special. The connections they had formed with the spirits at the homestead felt sacred, a bond that transcended time. Weeks later, the group reconvened at the Magoffin Homestead, now bustling with activity. They had collaborated with local historians and artists, transforming the space into a vibrant hub of community engagement. Banners hung from the porch, welcoming visitors to an evening with the spirits, a night dedicated to honoring the homestead's rich history. As dusk settled, families and friends gathered, sharing food, stories, and laughter. The energy was electric, a mix of excitement and reverence. Sarah felt a sense of belonging as she helped set up, remembering the little girl's laughter and the soothing presence of the lady in blue. Once the sun dipped below the horizon, the group took turns sharing their experiences from the previous visit. They spoke of the rocking chair, the ghostly figures in the garden, and the emotional weight of Elizabeth's story. Suddenly, a hush fell over the crowd as the guide stepped forward. "We have a special guest with us tonight," she announced, her voice filled with warmth. "The spirits of the Magoffin Homestead are here with us, inviting us to remember and honor them." A soft breeze swept through the gathered crowd, and a few people gasped as they caught glimpses of shadows flitting just beyond the porch light. The air was charged with energy, and a feeling of connection enveloped everyone present. Throughout the night, guests participated in storytelling sessions, sharing their own experiences and connecting with the stories of those who had come before. Laughter and tears intertwined, a beautiful tapestry of shared human experience. As the evening drew to a close, Sarah stood on the porch, looking out at the gathering below. She felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her, knowing they had created something meaningful, a bridge between the past and present. Just then, she caught sight of a familiar figure in the distance, the lady in blue. Her ethereal form glided through the garden, her expression serene and watchful. For a moment, their eyes met, and Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude emanating from the spirit. With a smile, Sarah whispered, "We won't forget you." As the last guests began to leave, the group lingered, reluctant to end the magical night. The homestead stood bathed in moonlight, its history alive and vibrant. They realized they had not only honored the spirits of the Magoffin family, but had also forged a lasting connection with their community. In the months that followed, an evening with the spirits became a beloved tradition, bringing people together to celebrate history, share stories, and remember the souls who had shaped their town. The Magoffin Homestead thrived, its legacy now intertwined with the living, a sanctuary where memories could be preserved and spirits could roam free. And as the seasons changed, the spirits remained, their laughter echoing softly in the gardens. Their stories woven into the fabric of El Paso, a testament to the enduring power of connection, love, and remembrance. As the tradition of an evening with the spirits grew, the Magoffin Homestead became a cherished landmark in El Paso, a gathering place where history and community intertwined. Each month, the event drew larger crowds, transforming the once quiet homestead into a lively hub of storytelling, music, and connection. The group that initiated the gatherings felt a profound sense of purpose. Sarah, in particular, found herself deeply invested, often staying late to help clean up or rearranging decorations for the next event. Each time she left, she couldn't shake the feeling that the spirits were watching over her, guiding her efforts. One evening, while tidying up after a particularly lively gathering, Sarah lingered in the main parlor, where the rocking chair sat as a centerpiece. The air was still charged with the energy of the night, and as she dusted the chair, she felt an inexplicable pull to sit in it. She hesitated for a moment, but curiosity got the better of her. As she settled into the worn seat, a gentle warmth enveloped her. She closed her eyes, letting the quiet surround her. In that stillness, a soft whisper echoed in her mind, a familiar voice. "Thank you for remembering us." Startled, she opened her eyes, glancing around the empty room. "Is that you, Elizabeth?" she whispered, feeling a rush of emotion. The air shimmered, and for a fleeting moment, she thought she saw the outline of the lady in blue standing in the corner, her expression one of gratitude and peace. Sarah felt tears prick her eyes. "We're honoring you. We want everyone to know your story." The spirit seemed to nod, a comforting presence that filled the room. Sarah took a deep breath, feeling a connection that transcended the physical world. "What else can we do?" she asked, her heart pounding with anticipation. As if in response, the rocking chair began to sway gently, the rhythm soothing. Sarah watched, entranced, as the shadows in the room flickered, coalescing into a vision. She saw images of families gathered in the homestead, laughter echoing through the halls, children playing in the garden, and the loving glances exchanged between Elizabeth and her family. When the vision faded, Sarah sat in silence, her heart swelling with inspiration. The spirits wanted their stories not only remembered but celebrated, shared across generations. She felt a newfound determination. "We can do more than just tell stories," she said aloud. "We can create something that connects everyone to this history and annual festival, maybe." Excited by her idea, Sarah rushed to share her thoughts with her friends. They gathered in the parlor the next day, the atmosphere buzzing with energy. "What if we created a festival dedicated to the history of the Magoffin family and the culture of El Paso?" she proposed. "We could include local artists, musicians, food vendors, and historical reenactments. The group exchanged glances, their excitement palpable. "That's brilliant," the guide exclaimed. "We could invite the whole community to participate. It could be a way to honor the spirits and bring people together." The brainstorming session quickly turned into a planning meeting, and as the weeks unfolded, the festival concept blossomed. They decided to host it in the spring, aligning it with the blooming of the gardens that Elizabeth once tended. As they began reaching out to local artists and vendors, word spread throughout the community, generating buzz and enthusiasm. Everyone wanted to contribute to this unique celebration of history and culture. The festival was slated to feature storytelling sessions, craft booths, food trucks, and live music, all set against the backdrop of the historic homestead. As the date approached, the energy surrounding the festival grew, drawing in people from all corners of El Paso. Sarah felt a thrill of anticipation, knowing that they were creating something truly special. On the morning of the festival, the homestead was adorned with colorful banners and flowers, each detail reflecting the love and effort that had gone into the event. The sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow over the festivities as families began to arrive, their laughter mingling with the sound of music drifting through the air. As the first guests stepped onto the grounds, Sarah felt a flutter of nerves mixed with excitement. She stood near the entrance, welcoming visitors and sharing the stories of the homestead. The moment felt surreal, as if the spirits themselves were present, watching with pride. Throughout the day, the festival buzzed with energy. Local musicians filled the air with melodies, and children darted through the gardens, their joy infectious. Vendors showcased crafts that paid homage to the region's history, and storytellers captivated audiences with tales of the past. As evening approached, Sarah gathered her friends and the community for a final storytelling session under the stars. They arranged chairs in a circle around the rocking chair, which had become a symbol of the event. The flickering lanterns cast a warm glow, and the air was thick with anticipation. One by one, community members shared their stories, ghostly encounters, family legends, and tales of resilience that had shaped El Paso. The energy was electric, a shared sense of belonging that connected everyone present. Just as Sarah stood to share her own experience with the little girl in the garden, a soft breeze swept through the gathering, and the temperature dropped slightly. The crowd hushed, sensing the shift in the air. "I believe our spirits are here with us tonight," she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "They've guided us to create this moment, to remember and celebrate their lives." Suddenly, a figure appeared at the edge of the gathering dressed in blue, ethereal and serene. It was the lady in blue, her expression filled with warmth and gratitude. Gasps rippled through the audience as she stepped forward, her presence illuminating the space. In that moment, Sarah felt an overwhelming connection to the past, to the stories of the Magoffin family, and to the entire community that had come together to honor them. The air shimmered with energy, a reminder that the spirits would always be part of the living tapestry of El Paso. As the festival continued into the night, laughter and joy intertwined with echoes of the past, creating a beautiful harmony that resonated in the hearts of everyone present. The Magoffin Homestead had become not just a house of memories, but a living testament to love, history, and the enduring connection between the past and present. And as the stars twinkled above, it was clear that this was only the beginning of a beautiful legacy, one that would keep the spirits alive, their stories woven into the very fabric of the community they had once called home. As the festival unfolded, the presence of the lady in blue brought a sense of magic to the night. Guests shared stories and laughter, feeling the spirits of the Magoffin family envelop them in warmth. The air buzzed with connection, and the rocking chair, now a symbol of their unity, stood proudly at the center of the gathering. As the final notes of music faded, Sarah stepped forward once more, her heart full. "Tonight, we honor the past and celebrate our community. May we continue to tell these stories and cherish the spirits who guide us." With a chorus of agreement, the crowd cheered, united in their shared experience. The lady in blue offered one last, serene smile before vanishing into the night, leaving behind a lingering sense of peace. In the months that followed, the festival became an annual tradition, each year drawing more people together to celebrate El Paso's rich history. The Magoffin Homestead thrived, its legacy preserved through stories, music, and community spirit. Sarah felt fulfilled, knowing that they had created a lasting tribute to the spirits who once roamed those halls. The Magoffin Homestead was no longer just a historical site. It was a living testament to the enduring power of love, memory, and connection where the past would always dance with the present, united under the twinkling stars. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you liked this story.